This is the essential diet. Getting all these vitamins and minerals on the board every day is the essential diet. So I have a few things I want to go over in this video. I just have some bullets here to keep me focused. I want to go over what a syndrome is. I want to go over how we make energy and the cause of fatigue, depression, and anxiety, and the stages in life where it's more likely to suffer from psychosis. And I want to go over changes of perception these are all induced or caused by deficiencies in these vitamins and minerals. So let's start with what a syndrome is. And by explaining what a syndrome is, I'm going to go over what a potassium deficiency, the symptoms of a potassium deficiency, which include bloating, mental confusion, heart palpitation, digestion problems, inability to concentrate, tingling or numbness in the arms and legs, high blood pressure, hallucination, constipation, muscle cramps, unclear thinking, and extreme thirst. So these are all symptoms of a deficiency of potassium. Now, a syndrome is when you have a root cause that can lead to many different symptoms. So that is basically what a syndrome is. So every vitamin and mineral on the board here can induce a syndrome, a collection of symptoms that are caused from the deficiency of that vitamin or mineral. Now, one other thing I want to point out here on the board specifically is chloride. Now, a lot of people are actually passing on the salt today to help lower their sodium levels, but we need 3,400 milligrams of chloride every day, and chloride is critical for making stomach acid, which is hydrochloric acid. Now, it's stomach acid that's going to allow us to absorb a lot of the minerals and as well as break down our proteins for us. Okay, so moving on, how we make energy. So imagine that your food is at one side of this assembly line and that the energy that we need is at the other end of this assembly line. Now, divide this assembly line up into, I would say arbitrarily, like 30 different stations. Now, at each station in this assembly line can only be filled by a specific protein. And that specific protein needs a specific vitamin or mineral for it to function properly. So when you put food into one end, all 30 of these proteins have to be set up in this assembly line for us to produce enough energy that we need every day with their specific vitamins or minerals that they require to fold and function properly. Now, the 30 units in the assembly line is arbitrary. I'm not really sure how many stations in the assembly line there are, but that is essentially how we produce our energy. It is a stepwise process like an assembly line. Now, everything I have in orange over here, all these dots, I had found critical in this assembly line process. So that's basically how we make energy. It's a multi-step process that yields energy at the end and has glucose is the primary starting fuel in the beginning. Okay, so causes of fatigue, anxiety, and depression. Now, all the vitamins and minerals that are critical for making energy are, can be included in the causes of depression, fatigue, and anxiety, because if you're not making enough energy, you don't have enough, you induce a condition of fatigue. And by inducing a condition of fatigue, you eventually get depressed. And what really is anxiety? What's the root of anxiety? Is not being able to meet the demands of life. If you don't rise beyond the problems in your life, you're going to suffer from anxiety. So fatigue, depression, and anxiety are really all expressions of one fundamental problem, which is not being able to produce enough energy. So just to be clear, all the turquoise squares on the board are vitamins and minerals that are directly related to depression, anxiety, and fatigue. And the deficiencies in all of these vitamins and minerals that I have with a turquoise square next to them can induce the fatigue, depression, and anxiety condition. Okay, so for psychosis, now I find that psychosis is more likely to occur at these critical stages in development. So if you have a severe deficiency in one of these vitamins or minerals that have a pink triangle next to it, during these critical stages in development, you may be more susceptible to developing a condition of psychosis. Because if you think about it, when you go through puberty, you could gain 20, 30 pounds in 1 year. So your body actually demands a lot of energy just to maintain its day-to-day activity, but all of a sudden you're starting to grow another 30 pounds or so in a year or two. And that is a critical demand that your body is requiring of itself. And if you do not have enough of these vitamins and minerals during these critical phases in development, you may suffer from psychosis. So the last thing on the list here is changes in perception. So changes in perception can appear as anything that leads to an inhibition in life. Like if you become very contracted in the way you think, you can't accept new ideas, you become very regimented in your day-to-day habits, and you just cannot deviate from them without having a total meltdown. That, in my opinion, is a change in perception. You change your perception to think that things are more of a threat in your life than they used to be. And as a result, you're going to change your behavior. You're going to change your mood. So the change in perception really comes with a change in behavior and change in mood as well. And it's really, in my opinion, centered around how we slowly contract our lives into these very fine lifestyles. Like you have to eat at a certain time, you can only eat certain foods, you have to be, you won't travel at night. So these changes in perception, in my opinion, come over time, very slowly. And this purple triangle here just indicates change. I mean, it's a chemical, you find that in chemistry, these triangles just indicate change. But it's really the green cross here that I found associated with changes in perception over time in iodine. So that's the essential diet. You have to be getting all of these vitamins and minerals in your diet on a daily basis. Now, one more thing I want to bring up before I close this video out is Nutrient Power. This book is incredible. William Walsch did a ton of great work, really taking the time to tease out through blood analysis of tons of different patients the causes of a lot of these mental health problems. He even used a population of violent criminals to and found correlations in their blood that are associated with violent behavior. So again, Nutrient Power is a great read if anybody wants to learn more about how these vitamins and minerals work, specifically in the brain. So anyways, when you build your diet, build it around these vitamins and minerals. Focus on the potassium chloride as starting blocks, and make sure you're getting enough calcium. Eat whole foods. Whole foods and complex foods. And I'll take some time and I'll put a lot of stuff in the description box below to help kind of cover the gap for some of these vitamins and minerals.